City of Hoyt Lake Council meeting Monday, October 24th, 2022 to order. Roll call, please.
Beauregard.
Here.
Grams. Here. Kramer. Here. Pop.
Here.
Zins.
Here. Everybody please stand for pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody have a chance to look at the consent agenda? If so, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Kramer. Is there support?
I'll support.
Supported by Councilor Beauregard. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Guests and citizen, anybody here other than consent agenda? Okay. Reports from staff. So the Administrator Lammy.
Perfect. I have two tonight. First off, for myself, I just wanted to let everyone know that our health insurance rates for both ourselves and the East Range PD went up 3.36%. We did budget 5%, so that was well within our budgeted amount. We are looking into other options, such as with the co-op, that kind of thing, but it looks like those went up 12%, so we will more than likely stay with Blue Cross Blue Shield. More to come on that. We are still working on the Fisherman's Point Campground Manager position. We are working on the expectations with the transition away from cash handling in the office, and it's taking a little bit longer than expected. So I will bring additional information to you as soon as I have it on that. And then I also have Jake Barron's update. Would you like me to give that now, or would you like me to wait?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So he indicated the new trickling filter is up and running with aid from the old trickling filter until the new one has enough biological growth for proper treatment. The old trickling filter will be taken offline as the new filter is fully operational, should be ready any time now. Training on the new equipment will be ramping up over the next couple weeks. They're almost finished hauling sludge for this year, and all hydrants have been flushed, and they have winterized the ones that needed it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Library Director Sue.
We'll be closing this week on Thursday and Friday for our staff first time in the Minnesota Library Association Annual Conference. It's going to come this year, so we're pretty excited about that. A chance to get together physically with other librarians from across the state, and then also volunteer coordinating the program this year. So I'm working library and making sure that everything's covered. November 3rd, we are having Pat McGully come, who's a Minnesota author who graduated from Northern High School. And he has maybe 15 or more books, and he's going to be here on the 3rd from 3 to 5 p.m. to sign his new book. And just come and say hello. And on the 10th of November at 1 o'clock, we're having a watercolor painting program in the fall scene of the river. And starting in November and going probably once a month or so, we're going to have cricket one-on-one workshops. And cricket is a lifetime machine, so have that available to public to use, but there's a lot of questions on how to use it, so we're going to start having some classes.
Thanks, Sue. Public Works Director Kenny.
Yeah, just a couple things tonight. Campground is actually closing for seasonals at the end of October here. I touched base. Porta-John will be pulling all the satellites out at the end of this week on Friday to avoid getting charged for the month of November as well. The one at the boat landing will remain level for anybody who is mid-season or off-season camping. That'll be down there like usual. We have all the docks out for the season other than one on the fish clean house side, back bay, and one on Colby. Those will be coming out in the near future as the first sweeping for leaves, we started sweeping last Wednesday, I believe. Sweeper broke down on Friday, did see the parts today, you should see all the Wednesday tomorrow. That's about it, other than that.
Kenny, how's the bathhouse block come in and where are we at with that?
Yeah, I just heard from Brian Wilden this afternoon, the block is scheduled to be here on Wednesday. Again, it was supposed to be here on the week of the 16th, it didn't show. By the time Nancy got a straight answer, they called out Wednesday. The lift station is in and scheduled to be delivered and started being installed Thursday. So I think you'll see activity on both the lift station or the bathroom and the block.
They still intend doing the block
Yeah,
work?
as long as weather permits, they said that it'll be a day-by-day thing, but with the forecast that we have, the word I was told today is that they'll be starting on Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Might have been a blessing with the sweeper breaking down with the wind we got, so
Yeah, it was-
all the gutters and the drains are.
All right. EMS Director Olmsted.
I apologize for my tardiness. I was coming in hot and it was late night and hot. Jim's hot for their EMTs and paramedics. Their essentials, stuff like that. Friday I renewed all of our licenses, our part-time BLS license and our BLS license, so we're able to operate for another 2 years. Other than that, I have agenda items.
Okay.
Aside from the agenda, I have just a couple things. Over at the EMS building, public safety building, we lost our access control server. So I read out, we got a bunch of quotes, and we're gonna have to replace that sooner rather than later. We can't make any additional calls or allow any other access than what we currently have. So Furlong was the access control holder now. They in turn gave us the cheapest quote. And that cost will be split between a third police department, third fire, and then a third EMS. So we're hoping to have that in, if not this week, next week, and possibly running. So Sydney controls all the access controls and stuff. She's an administrator of that. That'll continue. But as we're finding out over there, a lot of different upgrades need to be made in over 7 years, and it's mostly IT stuff that needs to be upgraded and kept up with. So, the other thing is as the council's aware, you guys approved cameras. I can tell you that they're up and running. EMS is up and running over the intersection. Here at the City Hall, we've got them here, we've got them in the library, and certainly outside the buildings. And ones that we're finding are already paying dividends is Fisherman's Point. So we've used them, that was multiple times to identify what's going on and some of the behaviors. So it's a good test run from here to the winter, and be able to use them next summer for sure. Our officers can access them from their squad computer too, and they can watch them live from any spot in the squad. If they want to review footage, they would have to come back to the terminal at the PD administrator in and get that. So they are up and working. If any counselor or anybody wants to see what we can see, certainly stop by and pull them on. And as far as data sharing, a citizen just can't come in and request it. There's a policy and procedure to that data policy. So they're not there to spy on people. There's a tool. We use it as a tool. We know that we still have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that some of that criminal behavior happened. We can't just go off the proper campus and see what's going on. So, again, it's been a really useful tool, and I think it's going to be a benefit to everybody in the community. That's all I have.
Thank you. Attorney Brumfield?
Nothing to report, Mayor, just
Okay,
agenda items.
thank you. Counselor Pop?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Counselor Kramer?
Nothing tonight.
Counselor Grams?
Nothing to report.
Counselor Borgard,
Nothing tonight.
I'll make it unanimous. Go right in old business. Emergency Medical Services Billing Company proposal. You wanna
Yep.
take this, Becky?
And I do have one update. Director Olmsted was able to get from Fairview the current contract, and they do just have a 30-day termination clause. So that is one update from the information provided to you in your packet. Other than that, I'm up for questions. I'm sure Mel is as well.
Council have anything for Becky or Mel?
I guess just any further thoughts, Becky, on being able to handle the multiple extra entries with the deposits anymore?
I know I've talked to Dave about this. It's hard to know what it'll be like until we're in the system. And so if Mel and I are looking at this and we're going to think it's really great, or it's going to take a lot of work, we don't necessarily know until we're in and operating. I think it will increase our revenue, but it may also increase our workload. So we won't know until we're in it, and just be prepared for those requests to come back to you. If we're in and operating in it and we do need some additional help, or we need to reconfigure, Mel's going to take on these duties, or we're going to take on these duties, that kind of thing.
So if we were to go into this new billing, what's the length of a contract that we would have to sign? And how long, what would we, is there an out clause like there is with Fairview?
We can definitely negotiate that with the company before we sign a contract. If you want to sign a 12-month agreement and then month to month after that, that is something we can request of them. But they're going to want skin in the game initially. They're not going to just sign a 30-day contract.
Becky, did you have a chance to look into integrating with the possible future finance system?
I did not ask Civics if they would be able to integrate or not. Just as I have more experience working in that system, they are a lot more upload friendly. So it's a possibility, but I wasn't able to get that information.
Anything new from your perspective, Mel? I know you and I sat in on the initial meeting,
I
and
just
Becky.
did some calculations. So with the revenue we took in last year, Bob says, you could see a 20% increase in revenue. Back in 2021, it would have been $164,000 increased revenue, which is a pretty good number. For our budget this year for $682,500, $836,500. Just crunched a bunch of numbers. Buck says Hitting and Tower each did separate ambulance accounts where the money goes directly into that, and it's reconciled from there. They do internal reconciling and then send us a report monthly. But we don't get very many reports from our current billing company at all, or we get monthly reports, and they can be as in-depth as we want them to be. And the lady that we would be working with is more than willing to help us continue about this. I also I think I knew this, with what we increased ambulance rates next year, reflected on Medicare reimbursement rates that are going up 8.7% next year. So that's another increase in revenue to save for next year.
So from a time perspective, are we looking at after the first of the year, or given Fairview a
In
month?
my opinion, the sooner the better. I mean, we could give them November 1st, we could give Fairview 30 notice and then 30 days from there. So basically what that contract with Fairview said is we give them 30 days notice and then have 90 days. Because when we bill, we're almost 3 months out in what we're collecting. So they have that 90 days to collect that. And then new companies said they also relate to passing on to us.
Well, what I'd like to see is at least research what kind of a contract, length of contract we would have to be in.
We have, the contract is right there.
I guess is there an out clause for us? I didn't see anything.
No, and I think that's whatever we negotiate with them, I would have to say.
What we can do is we can ask for a draft contract to review as to the terms they would expect us to sign. And then, because what they provided us was a proposal. And so if we get a draft contract in front of us, we can do our regular reviews, like we make sure it's in the laws of the state of Minnesota, that kind of stuff.
I would feel more comfortable about seeing a draft or what it would look like before I made a decision personally. I think January 1st would be a good target. We can get all the information and make a decision sometime in council meetings in November. And then still have time to give a 30-day notice to Fairview, if that's what we choose to do. Rest of the council, anybody have opinion?
I think it sounds like a better way to go, especially with the recouping of the funds. But it would be nice to review a contract first and kind of see what the terms are. I think that could be done fairly quickly, though.
Yep. So direct city administrator Lammy to request a draft contract for January 1st, 2023 start date.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Motion made by Mayor Zinn, supported by Councilor Beauregard. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. New business, Sunday on-sale liquor ordinance discussion.
You can go ahead.
So Sunday on-sale liquor, what's that?
You want me to go ahead?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay. There was a Vikings game a couple weekends ago that was in London, so it was at 8:30 Central Daylight Savings Time here. And our ordinance outlines that intoxicating liquor can't be sold on sale prior to 12 o'clock noon. And that was set in 2017 by that council at that time. So we did, in 2017, there was a game also held in Europe, and the council at that time made one exemption for the ordinance. So the council did one exemption for one Sunday that year. And they chose at that time to not change the ordinance to match state law, which is 8 a.m. I know Councilor Beauregard had some concerns about it. Councilor Grams, I got several phone calls from the community. I did inform the management of the establishments that our ordinance did state noon on that day, and that unfortunately their advertisement took place that week, and that didn't give us enough time to post required 10 days for an ordinance change, that kind of thing. So they were unfortunately not able to hold their events and serve liquor at them. They were still able to hold them and not serve liquor. This is in front of you today to decide if you rather keep it the same, which would take no action, or if you want to look at changing it to match state law. That is totally up to the council. Chief Suler is here to comment as well.
Yeah, I was here back in 2017. I'm not so sure why we were stricter than the state law at that time, but there must have been a valid reason. But looking at this coming up and seeing our license holders, I see no reason why we wouldn't follow state law laws to sell at 8 a.m. on them days if we choose. And it doesn't have to be a special event day. Once you change it, it's every Sunday at 8 a.m. So more and more things happening, games going over, events could potentially be this for us. Law enforcement standpoint, no concern with the law at 8 a.m.
Where it says with the conjunction with the sale of food, does that mean like chips, bar pizza?
I'm not so sure on how the city council wants to address the food, but all the establishments that are in town that hold that license have some kind of food, whether it's the frozen pizzas behind the bar or a full bar and grill.
Mm-hmm.
So again, no concerns there.
Okay. And that is state law, so we can't exempt.
That's
Okay.
a general requirement that for a Sunday liquor license, it has to be in conjunction with the sale of food. But again, that's a pretty broad phrase, and typically if they have some sort of food service as a Sunday liquor license holder, it usually is enough to satisfy that requirement. It's not specific to the 8 a.m. piece of it.
Well, I'm in favor of anything we can do to help our businesses in town. Unfortunately, like Becky said, it was too late to, because I even asked Becky if I could call a special meeting, and because of the 10-day rule, it wouldn't have mattered. I couldn't have called a special meeting to get the council together to approve it for that particular date. So I would have no problem. Would we have to do the 10-day and establish?
Just direct us to make the
Yep.
ordinance change, and we'll put it together, and then we'll just post it, and then it'll be on the next council agenda for final approval.
Somebody care to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Beauregard. Is there support?
I'll support. Or Dan.
Supported by Councilor Pop. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Memorandum of Understanding for Long-Year Drill Site with Iron Range Historical Society. At the 10/11/22 regular council meeting, Richard Soderberg with the Iron Range Historical Society discussed maintenance of the Long-Year Drill Site with the city council. The council directed city administrator Lammy to draw up a memorandum of understanding for the Long-Year Drill Site. The memorandum of understanding has been reviewed by Public Works Director Snetzinger, and on the backside of that sheet is this understanding.
It just lays out the expectations between the two parties. Obviously, this would also need to pass the boards, the Iron Range Historical Society boards, a motion there as well for signature, and then we should be good to go.
So is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Pop. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Kramer. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2022-025, application for Arrowhead Library System mini grant. White Lakes Public Library is requesting $250 from the Arrowhead Library System to bind the Hoyt Lakes newspaper, the Hoyt Lakes pellet newspapers, and the oral histories from the Erie Mining History Project. And can you explain that, Becky? Is there anything else in this?
No, it's just a resolution to support an application for a grant.
Okay.
Sue plans on applying for that $250. And
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Grahams. Is there support? I'll support that. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There's a request for installment payment of delinquent utility fees in front of you.
we always appreciate utility customers who are trying to pay. And so this is just the agreement we have them sign. I do explain the rules, so this customer will have to be in and sign the agreement prior to end of business at the end of the week. If they fail to do so, or if they fail to make a payment on time, their water will be shut off without additional notice. And then it won't be turned back on until they're paid in full, just like all of our other customers. But we are more than willing usually to issue them a payment plan if they request it. So,
Do we have to take any action on this? Or?
yes, please do that.
Okay, is there a motion to approve this payment plan?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Counselor Kramer. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Counselor Graham. Is there any further, or Graham's? Counselor Pop, is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, hourly non-union employment agreement before you. Everybody had a chance to look at it? Yeah, you want to go over it, Becky, please?
So late on Friday, I received a notice of maintenance of status quo, and I did speak with City Attorney Brunfelt on it. That just means that unfortunately, we will have to pull all EMS personnel off of this agreement. So this will just consist of all the departments except the EMS department. And so we can no longer negotiate or engage with conversations from the EMS department as to their terms or conditions of their employment. So this agreement would be approving the negotiated contract with all other departments. And so the updated one in front of you is okay to pass as is. Any contract or any other discussions we have with EMS will take place at a later date during the terms of their individual negotiations. So,
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the hourly
This
non?
is not including legal,
yes, all EMS personnel were pulled off of the contract.
but the supervisor will.
Yeah, so let me address that. So there's a petition that's been filed by employees in the EMS bargaining or EMS group to form a. And so when a petition is filed with the State Bureau of Mediation Services to form a union, that triggers what's called the maintenance of status quo order that goes into effect. That prevents us from making any changes to the terms and conditions of employment for employees who may be covered by the bargaining unit. So what happens now that that petition has been filed is the parties will work with the BMS to determine, usually by stipulation, the definition of the appropriate bargaining unit. It's very likely that the ambulance director and the assistant ambulance director would be excluded ultimately by stipulation or by determination of the BMS. It's very likely they ultimately will be excluded from the bargaining unit. And then essentially, I think the bargaining unit probably will be made up of 3 positions, which are essentially the full-time paramedics. But before we can do anything with the EMS director and the assistant director, that has to be determined first by the BMS. We can't just make our own decision that they're going to be excluded. So I just don't want to put the city in a situation where we're potentially violating an order of the Bureau of Mediation Services. Again, the likely outcome is that the ambulance director and the assistant director will be excluded from this new bargaining unit. Once that determination is officially made by the BMS, what we probably will just do is just pass an addendum to this agreement that you're passing tonight to then roll the ambulance director and the assistant director back into the agreement. And then the paramedics will be covered by ultimately their own collective bargaining agreement, or they may end up being covered under the existing AFSCME bargaining group. So for now, I think that's the safer route, is to exclude all of the EMS staff from this document that you're approving tonight. And then we can take it up again once the BMS has determined what that new bargaining unit is going to exactly look like. So does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Thanks for the clarification. Is there a motion to approve the hourly non-union employment agreement as explained by Attorney Brumfeld?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Counselor Beauregard. Is there support?
I'll support.
Supported by Counselor Pop. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, Ranger ATV snowmobile request regarding insurance and non-licensed property. Anybody want to address this? I see elbows getting exchanged, so.
I'm Robert Turk. I'm the trail coordinator with the Ranger Snowmobile Club.
And Robbie Beauregard, president of the Snowmobile Club.
And currently, we were under the impression when we took over this position that the city insured our non-licensed title equipment, like our groomers, stuff like that. In the process of working with Becky and that, we found out, and you do insurance coverage, it's not covered. So what we're looking at is to go talking to,
Aaron.
Aaron Unwin, and he explained the situation like the city has a $250,000 umbrella coverage on anything that's not licensed or titled in the city, for the city. And we were looking to come on, we were under pressure, we were under that because we had one time, for our time, we had a groomer burnt and the city had the insurance covered. Now through looking through our records, it's not. So what we're looking at is, and I don't believe there's additional costs to the city for this equipment, but we would just have to list our equipment under as city-owned equipment, which we always thought we did.
So essentially, the club would transfer the ownership of the equipment to the city of Hoyt Lakes. We would put together a memorandum of understanding. This is technically the city's equipment utilized by the Rangers Club for these purposes. The city insures it. We have a, like was said, we have a $250,000 policy. So any equipment that's not licensed, that valued is under $250,000 is automatically covered. So skid steers, those kinds of things. So this equipment would just fall under the city. We would outline, obviously the club would have to public auction any equipment they decided to get rid of because that's a requirement of the city. And then, or trade it in for new equipment, that kind of thing. But we would list all those things out in a memorandum of understanding if the council would like to include this equipment and help the club out.
We also would continue doing the maintenance and expenses and that. We cover all them costs. If your mechanic doesn't work on our equipment, we do all our own work. We also carry a $2 million liability policy, and we have workman's comp for well, we have employees, but our workers. So.
And any licensed equipment they have, so the trailer and the snowmobile, they would cover themselves. So we wouldn't have any licensed equipment in our possession.
Mitch, do you have any opinion?
No,
on
I think
this?
that's, makes sense, and as long as we have some sort of a memorandum of understanding with the group that lays that all out, and we'll bring that back before the council for final approval, but I think that it's a very streamlined way to do it.
Okay,
So would you, in the future, anticipate having any piece of equipment that was valued at more than $250,000? I see that the newest piece you have is a 2010, according to this list. Is that something that's gonna need to be replaced and could cause a problem in the future value-wise, or?
We don't have any plans immediately to buy anything, but yeah, the cost of a brand new groomer is around $300,000.
Which then we would have to carry a lighter. I don't know how we address that. We'd have to talk to Aaron. But that's,
There might be a way we could do that if they get into a situation some years down the road, if you buy a really expensive piece of equipment, a new groomer, there would maybe be a way we could do that, again, through a memorandum of understanding with the group that would, where maybe that would be under the city, again, the city's coverage, but if there needs to be some additional coverage built into what we have, we could just lay that out in a memorandum. Maybe there would be a cost-sharing arrangement of some sort. But it would still be way more economical to do it that way through the city than the group trying to do it.
we did check on buying our own insurance, and the amount of money that Aaron said it would be, it's just something that we as a small club just can't afford. We don't have that much coming in. Most of ours is grants and rooming expense and our money paid back and stuff like that. It would be an expense that we couldn't handle. We could handle it right now for a temporary while, but it wouldn't, if we had to do it every year, it wouldn't work.
okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
So would anybody care to make a motion for City Administrator Lamy to drop a memorandum of understanding?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Kramer. Is there support?
I'll support.
Supported by Councilor Pop. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this point, we will close this meeting under section 13D-.05, subdivision 3C, land sale of parcel number 142-022-0080. We're going to go into closed session. There will be no other city business discussed. At the end of the closed session, we will adjourn. So we would ask everybody to leave.